When I handed my daughter her birthday gift, I expected a smile. Instead, she slid the box back across the table, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "I don't need a fake mother anymore. Don't ever contact me again." The entire restaurant went quiet. My heart shattered into a million pieces right there. Everyone thought I was going to break down, beg for her forgiveness, or cause a scene. I didn't. I calmly stood up, picked up my purse, and walked out. 3 days later, a massive commercial moving truck pulled up to her apartment building. But it wasn't there to deliver her belongings. It was there to take everything away. Follow my story until the end to see how a secret I kept for 5 years turned her golden moment into her biggest regret, and comment the city you're watching from so I can see how far my story has reached. My name is Elena, and at 28 years old, I never imagined I'd be standing in the middle of an upscale bistro, watching my life shatter into 1,000 pieces. 3 years ago, when my husband passed away, I promised him I would protect and raise his daughter, Chloe, who is just turning 18 tonight. I had sacrificed my late 20s, my social life, and every spare dollar to ensure she had everything a young woman could ever dream of. Tonight was supposed to be a celebration. I'd spent weeks reserving the best table at Laura, Chloe's favorite high-end restaurant, inviting her closest circle and her new, extraordinarily wealthy boyfriend, Julian. The atmosphere was buzzing with laughter, light jazz, and the clinking of crystal glasses. Chloe looked radiant in her designer dress, a birthday present I had bought her just last week. When the waiter brought out the birthday dessert, I reached into my purse and pulled out a velvet box containing a vintage gold locket that had belonged to her father. "Happy birthday, Chloe," I said, my voice warm with emotion. "Your dad would be so proud of the woman you're becoming." Chloe didn't smile. She didn't even open the box. Instead, she slowly slid it back across the crisp white tablecloth. The laughter at the table died down instantly. "Take it back, Elena," Chloe said, her voice dropping to a cold, razor-sharp whisper that echoed through the surrounding tables. "I'm 18 now, which means I don't have to play pretend anymore. I don't need a fake mother trying to buy my affection. Don't ever contact me again." The entire restaurant went dead silent. Julian smirked, crossing his arms, while Chloe's friends whispered behind their hands. Every eye in the room was fixed on me, waiting for me to cry, beg, or scream. My heart hammered against my ribs, but a strange, icy calm washed over my veins. I didn't shed a single tear. I slowly picked up my purse, left a $100 bill on the table for my share, and walked out into the cool night air without looking back. The drive home was quiet, devoid of the tears I thought would come. Stepping into my empty house, the silence felt heavy, but as the hours turned into days, my grief morphed into sharp, unwavering clarity. For 3 days, my phone remained completely silent. No text from Chloe, no apology, not even a faint sign of remorse. Through mutual acquaintances on social media, I saw what was really happening. Chloe was throwing lavish post-birthday parties at her luxury downtown apartment, parading around Julian and his elite social circle, posing as a wealthy, independent heiress who had finally cut ties with her burden of a stepmother. What Chloe failed to realize in her arrogance was the foundation her entire glamorous lifestyle was built upon. She genuinely believed she had achieved independence simply by turning 18. But the reality was far different. For the past 5 years, I hadn't just been playing the role of a supportive mother. I was the sole financial engine behind her entire life. Her stunning, sunlit corner apartment in the city's most expensive district? The lease was exclusively in my name, paid months in advance from my personal savings. Her sleek sports car parked in the garage downstairs? Registered to me, with insurance bills hitting my bank account every single month. Her college tuition, her high-end wardrobe, even the platinum credit card she casually slapped down for bottomless brunches with Julian. Every single cent flowed directly from me. She wanted to act like an independent adult who didn't need a fake mother. So, as I sat at my kitchen table on the 3rd morning, holding a cup of black coffee, I decided it was time to give her exactly what she asked for. It was 2 p.m. on the 3rd day after that disastrous dinner. Through Instagram stories, I knew Chloe was currently hosting an afternoon cocktail party at her apartment. Julian and his wealthy friends were all there, lounging on the Italian leather sofa I had ordered for her last Christmas, drinking champagne and enjoying the breathtaking view of the city skyline. Then came the heavy, demanding knock at her front door. When Chloe opened it, expecting another guest, she wasn't met with a bottle of wine. She was met by two towering men in high-visibility vests, backed by a massive commercial moving truck double-parked on the street below. Right beside them stood Mr. Henderson, the building's head property manager, holding a clipboard packed with legal notices. Before Chloe could process what was happening, Mr. Henderson spoke in a crisp, professional tone. Chloe, as of 8 a.m. this morning, the leaseholder, Elena, has officially terminated her tenancy and authorized the complete removal of all personal property registered under her name. Panic flickered across Chloe's face as Julian stepped up behind her. "What is this? You can't just barge in here," he demanded, trying to project authority. The movers didn't even pause. Armed with clipboards and itemized receipts, they strode past the shock-ridden crowd. They started with a high-end sound system blasting music in the background, unplugging it mid-song. Next went the designer coffee table, the bar cart stocked with expensive spirits, the plush rugs, and the velvet bar stools. Chloe's friends scrambled to grab their drinks and step out of the way, whispering in utter shock as the sleek, luxurious aesthetic Chloe had bragged about was dismantled piece by piece. Within minutes, her high society sanctuary was being stripped down to cold, empty hardwood floors. My phone began ringing furiously on my kitchen counter. I let it buzz 3 times before picking up, taking a slow sip of my tea. "Elena, what the hell is going on?" Chloe screamed into the receiver, her voice cracking with a mixture of rage and hysterical panic. In the background, I could hear the echoes of movers shouting orders and heavy furniture being dragged across floorboards. "There are random men in my apartment packing up all my stuff. Tell them to stop right now." I kept my voice smooth, quiet, and completely devoid of emotion. "Hello, Chloe. I'm simply honoring your request." "What are you talking about?" she shrieked, clearly desperate as her guests watched her meltdown. "At the restaurant, you made it very clear that you are an independent adult who doesn't need a fake mother," I replied calmly. Since every single piece of furniture, art, and electronics in that apartment was bought and paid for by me, I decided to take my belongings back. A fake mother wouldn't want to burden an independent woman with her things, right? "You're ruining my life. Julian is here. Everyone is watching," she sobbed, dropping all her previous hostility for pure desperation. "Well, then this is a great opportunity for your new, wealthy friends to help you out," I said softly. Through the line, I heard Julian's voice in the background, sharp and disgusted. "Wait, none of this is actually yours? You told us your family owned this place." The illusion was shattered. Chloe's frantic excuses were cut short as Julian muttered something under his breath and walked out, taking his circle of friends with him. Chloe was left standing alone in a completely empty, echoing living room, exposed for the fraud she had chosen to be. The movers had barely cleared out the apartment before Chloe sprinted down to the building's underground parking garage. Her face was flushed with embarrassment, her eyes stinging with tears as she desperately needed to find me, to scream, to demand answers. She pulled out her keys, clicked the unlock button on her sleek silver sedan, and marched toward the driver's side door. Except the car wasn't there. In its place stood a flatbed tow truck, already securing her car onto the back ramp. Beside it was a uniformed officer and a representative from the dealership. Chloe ran forward, frantically waving her hands. "Stop. What are you doing with my car?" The officer stepped in front of her, holding up a clipboard. "Miss, this vehicle is registered under the name Elena." The registered owner submitted a formal request to surrender the lease and repossess the vehicle effective immediately. "You are not listed as a primary or secondary owner." Chloe gasped, clutching her hair in disbelief. No, my dad bought this for me." "Your stepmother's name is on the title, miss," the officer stated coldly. "She has full legal authority." Devastated and stranded, Chloe tried to log onto her student portal to request emergency housing, only to be met with another crushing blow. A bright red notification popped up on her phone screen, Tuition payment canceled by sponsor. What Chloe had chosen to forget during her years of rebellion was the truth about her father's estate. Before he passed away, he saw her growing entitlement and lack of responsibility. He deliberately left his entire financial estate, life insurance, and trust funds exclusively to me. He trusted me completely to manage the money, ensuring Chloe would only receive financial support as long as she remained respectful, grounded, and humble. By disowning me, she hadn't just cut ties with a fake mother. She had voluntarily surrendered her key to the entire kingdom. 2 days later, a soft, hesitating knock sounded at my front door. When I opened it, the girl standing on my porch looked nothing like the arrogant, designer-clad teenager who had humiliated me at Laura. Chloe was wearing worn-out sneakers, an oversized hoodie, and had dark circles under her red, swollen eyes. Her phone had been turned off after Julian and her entire social circle blocked her, leaving her utterly alone in the cold reality she had created. "Elena." She choked out, her voice trembling as tears streamed down her cheeks. "Please. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any of it. I was just trying to fit in with Julian's crowd. I thought I could handle things on my own, but I can't. Please let me come home." She took a step forward, expecting me to throw my arms around her and brush everything under the rug like I used to. But I didn't move. I stood firmly in the doorway, my expression impassive. "Chloe," I said, my voice steady and measured. "You don't apologize because you broke my heart. You apologize because your illusion collapsed and you realized how cold the world is without the shield I built for you." "I'll do anything," she sobbed, dropping her head in shame. "Please, just don't abandon me." "I'm not abandoning you, but I'm no longer enabling you," I replied firmly. "You want to be an adult? Then you will learn what being an adult actually means. You will move into a modest campus dorm, get a part-time job, and pay your own way through the semester. If you want a relationship with me, it won't be based on my wallet. It will be based on genuine respect and accountability." It was a bitter pill for Chloe to swallow, but she had no choice. Over the following months, she moved into a small, shared dorm room, took a job as a barista at a campus coffee shop, and finally began earning her own way through life. The superficial friends who had cheered for her at the restaurant vanished overnight, leaving her with the hard, invaluable lesson that true worth isn't bought with someone else's money. Standing my ground was the hardest thing I had ever done, but it saved us both. It gave me my self-respect back, and it forced Chloe to finally grow into a responsible, independent adult. Today, our relationship is small, quiet, and rebuilt on honest ground, not financial dependency. Would you have given her a second chance after what she did, or would you have walked away for good? Let me know in the comments below.